Welcome to Hero Villains. Thank you all for always following and supporting the channel. What do you think, Sabertooth versus Blade? Two killing machines who have made even the most powerful superheroes tremble. On one side is the beast of the Marvel Universe, a predator with razor-sharp adamantium claws, a creature who haunted Wolverine for more than a century, possessing extraordinary regenerative abilities and an uncontrollable killer instinct. Victor Creed, Sabertooth. On the other side is Marvel's vampire hunter, half human and half vampire, possessing all the powers of a vampire without their fatal weaknesses. A man who has single-handedly slaughtered countless hordes of vampires and monsters for decades. Eric Brooks, Blade. When the savage beast faces the dark hunter, when adamantium claws collide with a titanium sword, when animal instinct clashes with flawless combat skill, who will be the last one standing?
Victor Creed, also known as Sabertooth, possesses physical strength far beyond normal human limits. One of the key factors behind this ability is his extraordinary regenerative power. When the body is subjected to extreme stress, such as lifting a heavy object or using all its strength to push something, the muscle tissue and skeletal structure can sustain microscopic damage. The body then regenerates and reinforces the damaged areas, thereby increasing its endurance and physical performance. For Sabertooth, this process occurs on a level far beyond that of an ordinary human. His rapid healing allows Victor to continuously push his body beyond its limits without suffering long-term consequences from physical injuries. Every time he fights, exerts himself, or endures extreme physical pressure, his body can quickly recover and continue functioning at peak efficiency. Sabertooth can maintain his tremendous strength throughout prolonged confrontations. Wolverine also possesses incredible strength. Logan has demonstrated the ability to catch and hold an elevator, showing that his muscular strength is far beyond that of an ordinary human. However, in many direct confrontations, Sabertooth has still been able to overpower Wolverine through sheer physical strength. Victor often forces Logan to withstand heavy blows and continuously applies significant physical pressure. Sabertooth is not only stronger because of his muscular power, he also possesses an exceptionally durable body, a high pain tolerance, and a healing factor that allows him to maintain his combat performance for extended periods. When all these factors are combined, Victor Creed becomes an especially dangerous opponent in close quarters combat. Therefore, when considering physical strength alone, Sabertooth is generally portrayed as having an advantage over Wolverine. Their battles have repeatedly shown that Victor can use his superior strength to overwhelm Logan, forcing Wolverine to rely more heavily on his combat experience, adamantium claws, and adaptability to keep the fight balanced. Sabertooth is a massive mutant, standing around 2 meters tall and weighing 124.7 kilograms before accounting for the weight of adamantium. However, his physical size is only the surface. Sabertooth's true strength is demonstrated through a series of incredible feats, accomplished entirely through his natural power. Victor Creed once easily crushed a barbell loaded with weight plates, deforming the entire mass of metal into a twisted ball in his hands. On another occasion, he was able to pull a steel beam weighing around 1,000 pounds, nearly half a ton, out of its fixed position and swing it like a baseball bat. Sabertooth has even lifted a moving car with one hand, and all of these feats were performed by Victor before his skeleton was reinforced with adamantium. This makes Sabertooth's raw, natural muscular strength particularly terrifying. Wolverine himself has acknowledged Sabertooth's superiority, judging Victor to be stronger, faster, tougher, and more dangerous. Logan can fight back through his combat experience, healing factor, and adamantium claws, but Victor still frequently creates overwhelming physical pressure. Even more frightening, that strength is combined with long, sharp claws capable of penetrating many types of material. When Sabertooth charges into close quarters combat, his opponent must face not only a body with extraordinary strength, but also his speed, predatory instincts, and superior regenerative abilities. His durability, speed, and deadly claws have made Victor Creed one of the most terrifying close quarters fighters in the mutant world. Sabertooth possesses claws made of bone and keratin that can retract and extend at will. They are hard and sharp enough to tear through rock and penetrate various types of soft metal. Wolverine initially also possessed bone claws, but Logan's claws were later coated with adamantium, transforming them into blades with exceptional durability and cutting power capable of piercing through a wide range of hard materials. Sabertooth also has a certain advantage when it comes to his senses. His powerful predatory instincts make Victor especially adept at detecting traces, sensing movement, and operating in darkness. His tracking ability is similar to that of a true predator, allowing Victor to easily hunt down targets in complex environments. During the Mpox crisis, Sabertooth joined Magneto's X-Men with the goal of protecting the mutant community at all costs. At first, Victor kept his distance from his teammates, but over time, he gradually developed a special relationship with Monet. When he learned that she had been possessed by her own vampire brother M-Plate, Sabertooth left the team with Monet to help her conceal her condition and search for a cure. Victor also had to confront increasingly obvious changes in his psychology. The effects of the inversion spell gradually began to weaken, causing him to slowly return to the violent person he had once been. His bloodlust became increasingly difficult to control, forcing Sabertooth to struggle against the instincts that had existed within him for many years. Later, Sabertooth teamed up with an older version of Logan who had been displaced through time, along with Domino, to investigate the people who had attacked them. When the Weapon X program was shut down, Warpath and Lady Deathstrike also joined the force after being rescued from captivity by Sabertooth and his ally. The group of mutant warriors quickly discovered that William Stryker was behind a new Weapon X project. With the assistance of Dr. Alba, Stryker used the DNA of several members of the group along with the DNA of Amadeus Cho, who had once become the totally awesome Hulk, to create a hybrid weapon known as Weapon H. After the Weapon X facility where Weapon H was created was destroyed, the mutants decided to transform their temporary alliance into a force dedicated to rescuing and protecting mutants. They continued using the name Weapon X, but this time with a completely different purpose, directing their power toward protecting those who were being hunted. After several weeks of successful operations, Victor convinced the team to help him rescue Monet, who had been affected by a secret cult led by Mentala. They successfully freed her from the villain's mind control and later joined forces with Deadpool to take down the cult, whose true leader was revealed to be William Stryker, the former director of Weapon X. Sabertooth is a brutal killer who takes pleasure in inflicting pain and suffering. Like his opponent Wolverine, Sabertooth possesses animalistic instincts, but while Wolverine fights to control himself and his murderous rage, Sabertooth has no hesitation about surrendering to his baser instincts. He completely gives himself over to the beast within and indulges every brutal or murderous impulse he feels. However, Sabertooth can be killed if his head is separated from his body, preventing his brain from sending signals to the parts of his body that need to heal.
I really hope you will subscribe to the channel. It would help us tremendously, and you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Now let's talk about Blade, the vampire hunter. Blade, whose real name is Eric Brooks, is a dampire, carrying a bloodline that combines human and vampire heritage. His birth began in a brothel where his mother worked while she was pregnant. As she went into labor in excruciating pain, a doctor was called to assist her. The man who arrived was actually Deacon Frost, a dangerous vampire. Frost attacked Eric's mother and drained a tremendous amount of blood from her body. However, she survived and Eric was safely born. Afterwards, the people inside the brothel attacked Deacon Frost together, forcing him to flee. Frost's bite later caused Eric's mother to transform into a vampire. At the same time, the vampire blood that entered his mother's body during pregnancy affected Eric's development, creating a unique transformation. He became a Dhampir, possessing many of the superior traits of a vampire while still retaining his human nature. Blade does not suffer from traditional weaknesses such as sunlight, garlic, or many other methods commonly used against vampires. However, he still has to deal with one dangerous problem: the bloodlust that constantly exists within his body. This makes Blade immune to vampire bites and prevents him from being easily transformed like an ordinary human. At the same time, his experiences during childhood instilled in him a deep hatred for vampires. Eric grew up with his mother in the brothel until a chance encounter completely changed his life. One day, Eric came across a man being attacked by 3 or 4 vampires. Without hesitation, he rushed in to help and fought alongside the man against the predators of the night. After that incident, the man became Blade's mentor and godfather. Eric was taught many important skills, from jazz music to tracking, combat, and vampire hunting. Over time, Blade and his mentor became true partners. They shared a deep hatred of vampires and began operating at night, hunting down bloodthirsty creatures that spread terror among humans. Blade's combat skills continued to improve. turning him into a formidable and highly experienced vampire hunter. Blade has been part of several different forces, including the Night Stalkers, Quincy Harker's Vampire Hunting Group, and SHIELD. These alliances gave him access to additional information, weapons, and tactics necessary to confront supernatural forces. Blade possesses strength, speed, agility, reflexes, endurance, and physical stamina far beyond those of an ordinary human. His senses are also exceptionally sharp, allowing him to detect movement, sense, and signs of danger in the dark. His regenerative abilities allow Blade to recover quickly from many serious injuries, while his aging process is significantly slower than that of a normal human. Blade's most distinctive ability is his capacity to operate under sunlight. While ordinary vampires must avoid daylight, Blade can fight directly under the sun without being weakened. He is also unaffected by garlic and many other traditional vampire weaknesses. This unique ability earned him the title of the Daywalker. Blade can also resist vampire bites and their hypnotic abilities. When his supernatural powers are combined with the mind of a human, combat skills honed over many years, and an unwavering determination to pursue his targets to the very end, Eric Brooks becomes one of the most dangerous vampire hunters in existence. Blade is an exceptionally dangerous close quarters combatant, trained and refined through various martial arts systems. He is highly skilled in kung fu, karate, jujitsu, boxing, and hapkido, while also possessing extensive real-world street fighting experience. Blade's combat abilities are not based solely on technique, but have also been shaped by countless hunts and confrontations with supernatural enemies. Blade is also a master swordsman and a highly accurate marksman. He uses a wide variety of weapons with exceptional proficiency, especially during nighttime vampire hunts. His combat experience allows Blade to avoid relying entirely on physical strength. He knows how to choose the right moment to strike, exploit weaknesses, and end a fight before his opponent has a chance to counterattack. In Peter Parker, Spider-Man Hashite, Blade was bitten by Morbius, a unique form of living vampire. The surprising factor was the reaction between the enzymes in Blade's blood and Morbius's unique vampiric properties. This interaction caused Blade's body to undergo a dramatic transformation, allowing him to acquire the characteristic abilities of vampires while simultaneously eliminating most of their traditional weaknesses. Blade gained even greater strength, speed, reflexes, and regenerative abilities than before. Most importantly, sunlight was no longer a threat to him. This was an extremely important advantage because Blade could hunt vampires both day and night, while most of his opponents were forced to operate in darkness. Blade does not hunt his targets through strength alone. He observes, analyzes, and patiently tracks them until he identifies the perfect moment to strike. Once the hunt begins, very few enemies can truly escape him. That is also why Eric Brooks became one of the most terrifying warriors when facing the vampire world. He carries a katana forged from silver and engraved with ancient symbols, capable of decapitating vampires and burning them from within. He uses guns loaded with silver bullets, wooden bullets, and rounds containing concentrated ultraviolet energy. He carries daggers, crossbows, grenades filled with concentrated holy water, and countless other specialized weapons designed specifically for different types of enemies. But Blade's most terrifying weapon is not anything he carries with him. It is his own knowledge and combat experience. Nearly a century of hunting vampires has turned him into a master tactician. Blade's battles with formidable enemies are legendary. Most famous is his rivalry with Deacon Frost, the vampire who killed his mother and turned him into a dhampir. The battle between Blade and Frost was not simply a contest of strength. During their many encounters, Frost constantly sought to manipulate Blade, using the vampire blood within his body like a chain. But Blade always refused to submit. He always found a way to rise again and continue fighting. Blade has also faced Dracula, the Lord of all vampires, an ancient entity whose power and knowledge surpassed those of any other vampire. The battle between Blade and Dracula was a confrontation between a mortal hunter and an immortal god, between human will and primordial supernatural power. Although he was overwhelmed in terms of raw strength, Blade used intelligence endurance, strategy, and sacred artifacts to hold his ground and ultimately drive Dracula back, proving that a human being with strong enough will can stand on equal ground with ancient entities. Blade faced an entirely new threat when a virus that transformed vampires began spreading across the world. He was forced to ally with former enemies, including several members of the X-Men, to stop the pandemic. In this battle, Blade demonstrated exceptional leadership and tactical abilities, coordinating combat teams, identifying the virus's weaknesses, and leading attacks against vampire organizations around the globe. Blade also faced Morbius, the living vampire, a scientist who was transformed into a vampire-like creature through a failed experiment. The battle between Blade and Morbius was particularly complicated because Morbius was not a true vampire, and traditional methods of killing vampires were not completely effective against him. Blade was forced to adapt, find new approaches, and ultimately defeat Morbius not only through strength but also through empathy, because he understood the pain of someone cursed with a nature he never chose. And now it's time for direct comparison and combat analysis. This is a battle between two master predators. In terms of raw strength, Sabertooth has the advantage. He is a killing machine whose strength has been compared to Wolverine's, and in many cases, he has overpowered Logan in hand-to-hand combat. Blade, although powerful due to his vampiric abilities, is generally portrayed as having strength comparable to, or slightly greater than, that of a high-level vampire, rather than possessing the extraordinary physical power of a creature like Sabertooth. More importantly, Sabertooth's healing factor is significantly superior to Blade's. Sabertooth can recover from injuries within seconds to minutes, while Blade can require hours to days. This means that in a prolonged battle, Sabertooth would have a tremendous advantage in terms of endurance. Blade's greatest strength. He is a master martial artist with exceptional combat skills and expert proficiency with weapons. Sabertooth, although a natural predator with incredible combat instincts, typically relies on brutality and overwhelming strength rather than refined martial arts technique. Blade can use his sword and other weapons with precision and efficiency, target Sabertooth's weaknesses, and evade his brutal attacks. He is also a strategist who knows how to analyze his opponent and formulate an appropriate plan. Sabertooth is a beast who fights on instinct, relying on brutality and overwhelming strength. He can become uncontrollable when provoked, and this can lead to mistakes. Blade, on the other hand, is a warrior with iron discipline who always remains calm and focused on his objective. He does not allow his emotions to control him and always fights as efficiently as possible. In a battle, discipline and skill will often prevail over raw instinct. Combat. The battle begins. Sabertooth, driven by his predatory instincts, will immediately charge forward, using his adamantium claws to tear into Blade. With his skill and speed, Blade will evade the attacks and counter with his sword. He will use precise strikes, targeting Sabertooth's joints, tendons, and other vulnerable areas of his body. Sabertooth will sense the danger and begin fighting even more brutally. He will willingly take injuries in order to close the distance and attack Blade with his claws. Blade may suffer scratches, but he will maintain his distance and continue attacking. The battle will become a contest between Sabertooth's raw brutality and Blade's martial arts skill. Blade will realize that he cannot bring Sabertooth down with ordinary wounds because his healing factor is simply too fast. He will need to inflict damage severe enough to incapacitate Sabertooth, such as severing a limb or driving his sword through his skull. However, this would be extremely difficult against an opponent as fast and brutal as Sabertooth. At a decisive moment, Sabertooth will seize an opening when Blade lets his guard down and charge forward, tackling him to the ground. He will use his overwhelming strength to pin Blade down and begin tearing into him with his adamantium claws. Trapped beneath Sabertooth's strength, Blade will try to fight back, but Sabertooth's power will be too great. The wounds inflicted by the adamantium claws will render Blade's healing abilities ineffective. Sabertooth will end the battle with a fatal attack, possibly biting into Blade's neck or tearing through a major artery with his claws. Blade will fall, defeated by Sabertooth's savage instincts. This is a hard-fought but well-deserved victory for Sabertooth. Blade is a master martial artist with admirable skill and discipline. He has the ability to defeat opponents who are physically stronger than him through skill and strategy. However, Sabertooth is an entirely different kind of opponent. He is not only physically powerful, but also possesses a superior healing factor and brutal, predatory instincts. The wounds Blade could inflict would not be enough to bring Sabertooth Sabertooth down, while even a single small mistake from Blade could lead to his defeat.
And that is our analysis of the battle between the Savage Beast and the Vampire Hunter. Let us know what you think by leaving a comment below. Do you stand with Sabertooth's savage instinct or Blade's warrior discipline? If you enjoy epic battles between master predators, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming battles. That's it for today's video. Thank you very much.